Welcome, everyone, to the Menlo Midweek. We're so glad you could join us today. And I am joined today by our Director of Care and Support here at Menlo Church, Mr. Monte Fisher. Monte, it is great to have you with us today. So, Menlo Midweek is a chance where we continue the conversation. And this week in particular, we're talking about conspiracy theories, fake news, all that other stuff. And, Monte, I thought it would be great if you could share a little bit of your story because you were trying to find a way to put this delicately, part of a unique religious community. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah, for many years, I lived at a commune out in the middle of the Arizona desert who believed they were set apart for a special purpose and had special leading from Jesus every day to tell us everything about what we were supposed to do that day, what we're supposed to eat and when and how much, what we're supposed to do and with whom, full control over our lives under this sense of having God's will.
I think we actually got a image of that, right? There's a picture of you kind of hanging up. There it is right there. Yeah. That is intense and I'd say pretty unconventional as far as religious communities go. So here you are kind of gathered together. So I just got to know, I mean, that is a real drastic change from any of the freedoms that people are typically afforded. So, what was going on in your life that you chose to kind of pursue this? Tell us more about that.
Sure. Yeah, I had always felt like there was a power beyond me. I had always sought the spiritual and looked for a way to have inner peace and joy. I thought I could achieve that somehow and sought it in a lot of different ways. Scientology, studying meditation under Eastern masters and Buddhism. I was attracted to this group because they had a dedicated life. It felt like it was focused on God's will. And maybe this was the short path to knowing God's will for my life and being spiritual.
And so that group kind of afforded you some real certitude, right? In a questionable world, it gave you a place to find some footing and hang your hat, right? Wow, that's powerful. And so, you've got all this major change going on. While you were in it, what did it give you? While you were there, what did it provide for you? What did it speak to you?
Yeah. Well, we had this sense of real focus. It was a sense of community, a sense that we were special. In fact, we were better, holier than everybody else, and we had special knowledge nobody else had. That was tempered because of all the rules that were on top of us. There was always this sense of pressure to be perfect, that God was only going to be happy with us if we were perfect. So it was a real mixed bag.
That's got to be a lot of pressure. It's my understanding too that you really kind of had to hold each other accountable, right? So what did that look like? I mean, what did it feel like?
In the end, it was extremely frustrating. This idea that we had to be perfect or God wouldn't be pleased with us. At the same time, we had endless rules. And the way it functioned was actually to take away from us our personal responsibility. When you have no ability to make a choice for yourself, there's no opening for personal responsibility. So there's no way to have true accountability.
So when did you know that it was time to go after all of that?
At one point, I just realized there was a lot of stuff going on for me. It wasn't changing. I wasn't getting more perfect. I was just getting more frustrated, and I just realized I couldn't stay. And maybe I was dragging them down, or something was going on for me that I wasn't taking advantage of it. But I had to leave. And at first, it actually felt like I was walking out on God, and it took several months for me to begin to think back objectively. And once I did, I could see that this was all based on a fallacy, and their whole concept of Jesus was wrong.
It's so interesting because it seems like while you were in it, it gave you this comfort, but it was the comfort of a lie, and the certitude that they were providing it never materialized, right? So I guess my next question is, and my last one, if you could go back in time and give a word to Monte in his 20s who was contemplating this whole thing, what would you tell him?
Wake up, Monte. There are warning signs. And the first warning sign of a cult is that they believe they're better than everybody else and they've got something special that nobody else has. What Jesus has for us is open to everyone. The other thing was this lack of grace, this total rules and control, and the fact that it didn't give you any opportunity to grow. That for us to get God's will, we have to build a personal relationship. It doesn't happen because somebody gives us a 1, 2, 3, and we just have to follow that blindly. And that does leave us in a lot of uncertainty. That's the way the Holy Spirit works with us, but that's the way relationships work. So it takes hard work to build a personal relationship.
I'm so glad you were able to just give that experience to so many of us because we're all in some way we're searching for something, and we're searching for that certitude, and we want the truth, and I'm just glad that you made it out so you could tell a bit of your story to us today and share it with everyone here on camera. Thank you so
Well, thanks,
much.
Matt.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us this week, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.